because, well, first, bats are completely different to us. They're not as clever, so they wouldn't be thinking anything like this. And they have sonar hearing, so that would mean that they make a picture in our mind while we see out of our eyes. So we're basically completely different animals, so I think it's impossible to know what they're thinking and feeling.
How do you actually know that they're not as smart as us? Because you don't know if they're clever enough and know everything that we're doing and stuff like that. So.
Isn't like a language like a form of communication? So bats obviously communicate with other bats, so they're going to obviously have to have language. In that sense.
Okay, so if language is communication and they communicate with each other, it must have a language. Ross?
Maybe, obviously, since bats, there's male bats and female bats, so obviously they have to communicate. So maybe using the sonar, maybe some way they maybe send like signals to other bats to communicate as their language. Because language doesn't have to be in words, because some people use sign language and it's still a way of speaking.
Very much.
How do we actually know that bats have a language? I mean, they when someone said before, I can't remember who it was, that they could be just squeaking like randomly. They might not be. They don't always. It doesn't always mean that they're talking to someone or in their own language.
Yeah. So how do we know it actually have a language? Well, I think Louis, you were saying something about that, weren't you? About how it needs to be.
You don't know whether bats have a language or not because you're not that.
If they could make a machine that could hear the sonars, maybe they could get a machine that could translate the sonars. If it doesn't, then that proves that bats don't have a language.
That's an interesting point. Would that prove? Could we do that?
How do we know that bats are actually blind?
Ooh.
How do we know that they have
Sonar.
Yeah, that. How do we know that they've got that?
This is a very good question.
Because we can't know it. How do they know that they're a bat?
Sydney, can Sydney's asked lots of very good questions there. Although I think the questions that Sydney's asking are more like science questions, scientific questions. So actually, I wonder if any of you can find out how scientists know that bats are blind, or how do scientists know that bats use sonar, things like that. I wonder if anyone can find that out for us for next week, because that's they're science questions, and I'm not a scientist, so I don't know the answer to these questions. So do you want to try and find that out for me next week, some of you? I've got a feeling it would be very difficult to make a machine that translates bats for you, but I'm trying to figure out why it would be difficult. What would be... Is it just a question of technology, like Kieran says? Or is there some other reason why it would be difficult to make a machine that translates in order to prove whether they have a language?
I don't know, but we're going to have to get a bat to do it.
That seems like an interesting point. What do you mean?
Like, because you know, like, if they wanted to translate it, I mean, like, say if, like, the machine's here, then the bat's over there. Maybe the machine can't, like, get its, like, sound range or something to the bat. So maybe it's not that far enough. So wouldn't you have to get back? But isn't that going to be a bit typical because it might, like, fly away or something?
That seems very interesting now, doesn't it? There seems to be a problem with making a bat translating machine, because you need to have
A bat.
a bat, yeah,
No, but
to be able to So you know what its language is. Yeah.
You know when people use slang, so other humans will understand even if it's the same language. It's exactly like that. So if they squeaked, what would the machine be able to do? It would need to have a telepathic thing. It would need to be able to read the bat's mind.
And why's that?
Because...
Okay, here you are.